Hi, I'm Ben Sigrist,
Hey, I'm Michelle Welch.
and this is Seen That, and today we're reviewing The Merry Gentleman.
You strike me as a very private person. I'm quite a private
In this
person.
film, director Michael Keaton seeks out the more obscure and sundry parts of Chicago as a backdrop for the unlikely relationship between a hitman and the woman who becomes his guardian angel in the ironically titled The Merry Gentleman. Frank Logan, played by Michael Keaton, is a quiet tailor by day and a suicidal hired gunman by night. Kelly MacDonald plays Kate Fraser, a meek young Scottish woman new to Chicago after having escaped from her abusive husband, played by Bobby Cannavale. As the cops close in on the trail of Keaton's hitman and MacDonald is overwhelmed with unwanted suitors, the lonely pair connect over the holidays and rescue each other from their respective demons.
Found the girl under a Christmas tree.
You just might be the sweetest man I've ever met.
So, what did you think of the film?
Well, I think it's an unconventional film that's really hampered by its ambition. A combination of a boring plot and really undeveloped characters make it just awful.
See, I disagree. I really enjoyed it. I feel that the characters, even though you might think that they're not really developed, I like kind of having to question the characters and wonder where they're coming from, where they're going. For instance, Kelly MacDonald keeps her accent, so she's Scottish, but she's in America, so you don't really know how she came to be. Also, Michael Keaton plays this tailor who moonlights as a hitman, and you don't know how that happened or how he got that job. But it's interesting to just kind of be thrust with have these characters thrust at you and not really know what to do with them. And it's interesting to kind of question where they're going, even at the ending, which is very open-ended. You just have to kind of make up, having seen the film, wonder where they're going to go and kind of decide for yourself, which I really liked.
Yeah, I agree. I think the performances are really strong, especially Michael Keaton. He really does well in the role of this silent, really focused killer. Even just his face is kind of terrifying. He just kind of looks at you. He doesn't respond to anyone. It's just, that guy's a hitman. Yeah, I thought all the performances were great. I totally agree. But what about Chicago? This film is set in Chicago, and so how do you think they utilize the city?
Well, I really liked how they utilized the city. Whereas, say, Love Actually is London in this kind of, glossy backdrop of, landmarks and ooh-ah. This doesn't utilize Chicago that way. You don't see, the skyline. And you can't identify it as Chicago. And I like how it takes the sort of gritty back alley, desolate winter that we have here, and just utilizes it for the content of the film. Because, the story is a very kind of tragic, desolate, lonely lives, and it really fits.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree. I mean, I think that when we have this alternate view of Chicago where we lose its central kind of most recognizable nature, like the skyline, for example, we have no way to tell whether this is Chicago. And I think at that point, it might as well just have happened anywhere else, and it really doesn't matter that it was in Chicago.
See, I disagree. I think that, it's not necessary to identify it as Chicago. I don't think the film is about Chicago. It's about these characters, and so it's not necessary to, play up the city's kind of iconography. And I disagree with that. So,
Okay. Well, What about the way the characters ended up and how their relationships developed? How do you think that worked?
Well, as I said, I liked kind of the arbitrariness of the relationships. It's very realistic, I felt. You may disagree, but, it seems how they come together may seem somewhat silly almost, but I really liked how they just kind of connect in this, subdued, just kind of, it happens, because I feel like that's kind of how life is, and I think they were trying to get at that.
Well, I do disagree. I think that, especially with the hitman, with Frank Logan, Michael Keaton's character, although he plays him very well, he's really unexplained. We have no idea why he's killing people, why he feels remorse, and then after he meets Kate Fraser, we have no idea why their relationship develops. They meet, they carry up a Christmas tree to her apartment, and then all of a sudden they're best friends. And, I mean, because of that, because we really have no idea what the relationship is founded on, after all they've been through and at the end, I really have no reason to care about them or what they go off to do. Okay, so what's the final take then?
Well, I give it 3 stars out of 5 because I thought it was pretty slow and sometimes boring, but it's very respectable, and even though it does have a few kind of weird scenes that don't really fit, there's one with a tree that they burned, apart from that, it still is a very smart film, I thought, versus, kind of Hollywood crap. So,
yeah.
What about you?
Well, I'm on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. I give it 1.5 stars. Like I said, there's a boring plot, there's characters that are undeveloped, and at the end of the movie, you have no idea what you're supposed to do with these characters because we have no explanation for any of their actions, and so it's really just nothing. So I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree. Yeah, there it is. Next week, get ready for The Second Coming when Seen That reviews Angels and Demons.